just like slammed my door. I have a Pokemon poster that more or less took the blame for that one. Actually, I have an original Pokemon poster, like the one, the first Pokemon. Also, let me just do something here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Advanced options. We're gonna do sound alert. Do that, and then we're gonna do Elgato. There we go. Because just because I started the game like I did, I did not manage to actually change the sound. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, the worst I have had on my foot is literally last summer when I forgot sunscreen on my foot. And we thought of how often I wear socks. It hasn't really got that much sun. And, well, let's easily say like this. I still have some marks from the sun still today. And my feet were like fucking swollen. I couldn't walk on them. That was fun. Also, it's kind of warm in here, so I'm just gonna go and get something to drink as well. I don't have space up on here, so I have space now. There we go. Okay, so what was? Oh fuck! Right, I forgot I was inside one of these. Bugger. Okay, what did I do? Okay, so recap a bit. These two on the right and the left, I don't know if you should recognize them, but we met them on in Sean's office. They were the one apparently scamming people with the whole Redhead League. And apparently we managed to figure out that there was a... I hit my wall. I was getting really motivated on working out and practice fighting techniques, and most of them were kicks. Ah, okay. Fair point. But apparently they said that they found Detective Gregson. But the issue is, like, they said that they also more or less leashed him in a dog chain, if we say so. But it doesn't have the same mark for it. It's actually this guy who has the marks for it, if you see around his neck there. No, I'll live here. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk. Oh, then why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have said, really. Then, how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents, so that the police should have had access to. No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. The only other bits and bobs belong to me. The desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. True. Yeah, huge bone. Yeah, Jack, exactly. Absolutely huge bone. Huge bone. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room? So I believe this is the guy who disappeared in the beginning. The wife of a Vigil, which I kind of want to say Virgil. Well, obviously, I'm not the fanciest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest. It seems to me that Mr. Gossip, Mr. Bone, or rather, as little is known about this room as possible for some reason. Yes, it does come across that way, and more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely shifting. In particular, there's one part of this testimony that really bothers me now.
Hold it!
Oh! I think I know. So they literally commented about there might be something. Oh, imagine someone coming. Oh, hold on. It is the Ace of Thorny thing. There we go. Imagine someone coming into the stream and see you guiding his sight over. Huge bone! Yeah, that would be hella fun. I feel like I have much more. Like, sure, sometimes my energy is rather low, but I feel like I have more open-mindedness on how to act whenever I stream now. Which is fun. Fuck, it's warm in here. Sorry, I have tricky memes on. Tricky. I have tricky with memes on. I literally just saw someone just got them fall over. 1915. Fuck, I have to make a command for that. I'm gonna do this. I don't know when. I was about to say this weekend, but I'm actually gonna probably be busy this weekend. At least Saturday. I don't know about Sunday. Probably Sunday as well. I don't know. We have to see. I am not really gonna tell first what it is, because I have no way of really plan shit right now. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm actually gonna present this. He literally commented something that the desk and the chair was his.
Objection!
Which means that the photo is his, which means he has some people. I do wonder how that's gonna work. So, I don't know if I've said it, but my 3D printer, which is this little thing, is... Well, I don't know if I can say broken, but it doesn't any longer work. People say it might be Windows, and we thought of how unupdated this thing actually is and how compact it is. Like, the thing is, many of the 3D printers have like external softwares they can use, but this thing is literally like, this is our printer, use our software. And because it's like unupdated and shit like that, I am unable to use that anymore. So I might soon get a new printer, which is a printer that is highly recommended by people. Dude, I just heard a thud and everyone in my house right now is asleep. I'm scared. The worst part is, like, from my point of perspective, it's like, oh, okay, a thud. Well, that's something. Like, the worst part is, like, I don't know how people would react when you actually say that. But from my point of perspective, it's like, okay, that's nature, because there's literally 2 cats. Well, cats are making noises. That's why more or less I didn't react on the way of you hearing a thud in your house. Because I lived out, live out in the country. Right now I live in an apartment, but I live out in the country. And it's literally, it's like, I hear owls, I hear foxes, I hear cats, I hear thuds inside the house. Like, I'm so fucking used to it. Like, when someone is like, I heard a sound in my house, it's like, it's just something. I presume as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well, Mr. Bone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you really are. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. Yeah. That would be, like, now when you know there are 2 cats, that's like something. But if you would realize there were 2 people, I think it's more or less them that is like nervous about that. I'm gonna have my owl here in my pen. I have this. This is my mascot. It's my little mascot. I have these here. I just feel for it. It more or less keeps my dices safe. I don't know why, I just came to think of that. I watched Sea Dog when he did a sort of contest with Iron Mouse about doing these online... what are they called? Yeah, exactly. I believe, like, I was something like doing a contest with crane, like, online crane games with Iron Mouse, and I thought, like, yeah, I have not much to do, so I just put that up there. That was pretty interesting, just hearing those two doing stuff. And apparently, I believe he showed an image of how his desk looked like, or it was someone else. I don't know. For some reason, that just reminded me of that. I just came to think of this then. My little owl.
Objection.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand those. I'm so used to normal crane games. I literally saw those things and was like, what the fuck am I watching? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Bones' lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip itself a part of an elaborate disguise. Yeah, that would be something. I think he won like a grandpa that was like bigger than Iron Mouse. I don't remember how tall she is. Oh, what? How tall was Iris now again? It was like, what the fuck was it? 3 meters or something? 270 or something. What the fuck was it? I just reminded myself of that because I know that I have heard a lot of how small she is, and then it's just like an image of Iris just like towering over me. I was like, oh right, I remember Iris telling me her like android size. To be honest, I would absolutely, by the way, love a big plushie. Except for with something, because damn, only she was. Oh yeah, that would be something. Robotic NBA. If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. The really one person he couldn't really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Bones' true identity to the court. No, please, no! No! Very well, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip on the street? Or Mr. Huge Bone in the daylight? Venus. I don't know why, like, I really just enjoy that whenever she speaks or someone talking about her, I just say Venus Dawn. So these two are the same person. What the fuck happened with his nose?
Take that!
Wait, whose? Are we talking about Iris or Venus? Because I'm literally talking about 2 streamers right now. Technically 4 if you talk about Sea Dog and Iron Mouse. I'll recall that name, counsel. Who is Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. But yeah, whose channel? Iris? Venus? I think the other 2 you should know about. I'm more or less just waiting for an answer because I don't know who you're talking about right now. I talked to about 2 people. And because of internet delay, I wait for an answer. Or I can technically fucking do both. This is my channel. Fuck it, I'm gonna do both. I'm that kind of person, I don't give a fuck. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Twitch. And let's find the Iris. Hold on. She is actually... Oh, this has another color. What the fuck? Apex Legend. What is Lucy doing, by the way? I'm just curious. Hold on. Oh, I have VR chat. Okay. Shit. How the hell? How the hell am I supposed to find that? Oh wait, it's in order. Hold on. No, it's not in order. What the fuck? Is there an order to these things or not? I'm fucking confused. Oh, there we have it. Jesus. There we have one. Where is... Fuck, that's loud. Jesus, that scared the shit out of me. Technically, I know you cannot hear that. The mummy robot from the future wished to have joined the NBA. Yeah, let's do that. But I am gonna do Venus just because. Venus... Just because I do enjoy Venus as a person as well. There we go. You gave me an answer, but I'm gonna give you both. Why is it so fucking loud? I took down the sound. Just as... Yeah. And there we have the other. There we have another one. Like, I know so many mommy types. Like, I'm not like... no. Let's say mom types. Because I know that... that Miss Valkyrie is one. Well, I am technically more or less a baby tuber of Yoko's right now. Because I've more or less been... adopted in a sort of way. We have... I am pretty certain... Lyra. And then we have Iris. Dude, speaking of Venus, I just thought of the dumbest shit. Well, bring it forth! What I'm talking about, really. It's simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. What do you attractive girls that seduce people are... I think you have to redo that sentence. What do you attractive girls that seduce people around them? Did you misthink? Oh, what do you call? I tried to figure out, okay, so what do you call? It was either think. What do you call attractive girls that seduce people around them? I have no idea. A boy lift brings soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. We're gonna rinse him clean, this motherfucker. Mr. De Resso and Mr. De Rossi, you will restrain the witnesses. I do love that a Pen 15 fly trap. What the fuck is that? Akimokolas more or less wouldn't surprise me with thought of a flight trap and stuff. But yes. I do love that those two is actually like scammers. I was like, just could you two hold this bugger? Oh, okay. Fair point. Ooh. My streaming avatars came forth. Okay, thank you for that. I was stupid enough to not understand what the hell you were talking about. Fair point. That is actually a fair point. I've been like programming since 8 this morning. My head is not really able to more or less make from a Pen 15 to actually a word. Well, we're now seeing your true features, I presume. Lift your heads. The court can see your face. How the hell am I gonna do his voice now? Because it's not technically the same. Well, I'm gonna just do this now. Well, because before it was like this, and now it's gonna be like this, without like the lip hanging. It will appear that the defense counsel assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witness, tell the court. Have you seen this man before? No, I don't believe it, but I kind of forgot these voices.
See, there is a no question.
Well, I can't wait to suffer because of, for some reason, one of my cousins is nagging that him and I should make a game. Well, that's the thing. We actually had some people showing off their game because they came from our classes before, more or less the courses. That's the thing. We are making a game now throughout raw coding, nothing else, more or less. Which is a pain in the goddamn ass. But the thing is, it's much more simpler if like you're using Unreal or Unity. You have to learn some coding, yes. Even I have done that, but it's like much more simpler because there is mechanics to do shit rather than having to create the mechanic to let it do shit. What do you mean by timeline? And what's worse, he wants to make a game about TikTok dancers. How? Okay, so even I might not be the best of actually like figuring out how to make games or making a good game or some stuff like that, but how do you do that? But what do you mean by timeline? We have not changed timeline. This is just a guy with a huge lip.
This is the inspector we saw in the park.
Extraordinary. On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson, who appeared before Mr. Dereso and Mr. De Rossi in the park. I don't know. Okay, I do love, like, what timeline are we in? I'll let you just answer, I don't know. Yeah, but it's the same timeline. Nothing has changed other than we more or less just scrubbed him clean. It was you, the disguise as the inspector. Or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all? Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warden at Barclay Prison. The chief warden? Then your carrier had promised. Why would you quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison? What on earth have you been doing peddling tattle on Frenzel Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. Yeah, we've already figured that out, mate. Well, I'm really dreadful sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I'm Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warden at Berkeley Prison 10 years ago. What if he was the inspector disguised as a killer, disguised as the inspector? Good fucking question. Technically, he was imposing to be an inspector because there is no image inside their little book they have. It only says their name. So in a sense, he was disguised as an inspector by not being disguised at all, but then he had a disguise for being the meddler. Or seller. I don't know what it is. Bone is the other me. It's a name I invented. I do wonder why you invented that name. What name should I have? Well, my wife does compliment me on some points. Oh, fucking hell. Well, evidently there is a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. I don't know why that came forth. Literally, like, yeah. What sort of name should I have? Yeah, why fucking bone? Why not just huge giants or something? Yeah, yeah, I do love that. Literally, like, yeah, my wife did compliment me on something at least. Like, Jesus. Having left the prison service, I reached for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But time were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagement at all. In desperation, one day, I turned my hands at selling wares on Francis Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warden at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife would not know of my failing, which is why I never told her. I opened an account at the bank in the name of Huge Bone. And telling me to go to bed. Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Giggling at Huge. I'm glad she didn't ask you what you were giggling at. Oh, that would be something. Yeah, I'm just giggling at Huge Bone. And I rented the cheapest room I could find on Francis Street. The scene on where the crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily route. He has done this for 10 years. I was puzzled why, by the lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it. But why on earth did you just tell us this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons. Without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead you decided to conceal your occupation from them. Yes. I have a much terrible mess of everything. But still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warden at a prison. He was just been Bruce Wayneing it and changing identity at different times of the day. Yeah. Well, that's true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I invented Bone and begun my other life as a street seller. He, the inspector, that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? Yeah, he invented Bone. I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Francis Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked if I could carry out a secret assignment for him. A secret... What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? We always met at the little room in the inspector, so the inspector could brief me. Visit office tomorrow and take the statement from the proprietress. I have no idea what that means. It was always something along those lines: surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would have lent me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. But for those services, he compensated me financially. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquishes identification into your care with intent to deceive. That, as I'm sure I need to not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. From which point? The detective one or his what point? Well, why? What was the point of your impersonating him? I truthfully don't know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. And now remember, Virgil, I need your solemn word. Don't blab about all this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if I end up a croak. Well, please tell us. In time, he started to bring papers with him into the room as well. It became something of a second office to him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my bone disguise. Bloody hell. And then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. What the fuck is happening? I just hear the grudge sound. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might have given me away. But now he just says that he was an acquaintance with him and worked with him. So who killed him? Oh my god, is it Venus? Okay, so here's my thoughts. Like, someone had a firecracker. I just get the feeling it might have just been Venus because of the firecracker. Well, it would have seemed that this confession completely destroys the defense case. Yeah, because we said that he was actually the murderer, but unfortunately he cannot be because he actually helped him out. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asogi. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered. At the hands of these two red-handed league men when they imprisoned the inspector. But no, that can't be. After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day. It was me. Oh, goodness. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. Merci, Monsieur de la Defense, for proving it. Order! Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a factual conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. As proven, somewhat ironically, by the defense. Oh, speaking of Sholmes and stuff, I actually got a pretty nice game. I was curious about the game while I was playing... Fuck it. Hell. Yeah, because he doesn't just want someone to get into prison, but he wants the truth. But I managed to find a game called Crime Side, which is literally where you are cooperating with an AI. And depending on what team you are in or what side you are in, you're either teaming up with the AI Sherlock or the AI Moriarty. And the whole game is about either to make sure the target does not get killed by the culprit, or if you're Moriarty, making the culprit kill the target. And it's literally like a bit like, it is round based. So it's literally like you have to move one of like 6 people on the board to find food so you're capable of walking faster and stuff, and find weapons and other stuff to defend yourself. Well, not defend yourself. You can never defend yourself if you get murdered. That's the thing. But you can use stuff to like make sure people cannot go past and things like that. There are some stuff there. So it's literally like you win by either having a person in the same room as the killer when it's actually trying to assail the target, when you are at least Sherlock. Or you can win if you more or less survive all the rounds and can guess who actually was the culprit. And Moriarty, you literally have to be alone in the room with the target and with the culprit, and I've put on the assail command. There's nothing that can stop it, but it looked like I do enjoy that game. It's actually pretty fun. I might just try that someday on stream, just to like show it off a bit, because it's a pretty good game. One question, Council. It's not the easiest though, because there are like things you can figure out yourself, like who might it be, who could it be, and stuff like that. Because there are like extra rules, like Moriarty has more power over people than Sherlock. Someone can move more characters than the other and stuff like that. But there are like in different aspects now and then. There are like times when you just like will get like notifications like, oh, this person cannot be the target and this person cannot be the culprit. So the game more or less can do that by itself as well, depending on how far it goes. So if it like managed to more or less just, the game managed to more or less just pinpoint both of those, then it's more or less like the last round, because there is no other way for Moriarty to survive, because we know who it is. 10 years ago. But it's a pretty nice game. I actually enjoy it. You can actually play it as two, because it doesn't matter of who you know is actually Moriarty. It's more or less literally, it's like you don't know what they're gonna do, they don't know what you're gonna do. Execution of the professor. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Yeah, his name was Genshin. I don't know if you actually remember that, but they did say his name was Genshin Asogi. I think we have mentioned it at least a few times. Answer me, man. One moment, Council. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case has the events of 10 years ago, or inextricably linked. Does the defense concur, Counsel? You're not yourself. You're not as calm as collected as usual.
Kazuma-sama, no wonder he's acting this way.
That was the wrong person. Genshin was Kazuma's father. I have never done his voice because he has never been alive. You must be talking about Mr. Mikotobak.
Would it tell the tale of Genshin Asogi's last moments, his own father?
I know, I understand that. But even so... Prosecutor Asogi. Do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me, please. Very well. Then the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. The truth? Well, I remember very little of that time. You have forgotten. I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Also, just remember how to spell organize. I think I will spell Burgiosai. What is that? I don't know what that word is. I have no idea what that word is.
Does that not strike you as strange, Miss Naruto?
Sorry?
Well, 10 years is a long time. But I've forgotten the reason why you left such an important job.
Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts with what we already know. Bourgeoisie. I have no idea what that is. Bourgeoisie. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily. Which is why we have the tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? Bourgeoisie. Jesus. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. And then they do. That fragile spirit may finally be crushed. Hold on, I'm just gonna do something here that I didn't do before. Stream labels. I'm just gonna put up stream labels. That's a bit slow. But I don't.
Kazuma-sama.
But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right. Now I understand. Clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I point out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? Do it.
Do it. Just do it. Ultimate power!
Fucking hell. But this is a court of law, and I have duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of the events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Your small nuts. Oh my god, Gaddy. Oh my god. Oh, I really want some snacks now. God damn it. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member employment. A dismissal notice. And the name of the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. Oh yeah, it absolutely is. What? It's mine? So, you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warden from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? If you're forcibly dismissed, there must be a good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal. And have you remember. You're amazing nuts. You do understand I'm gonna translate that just like on full translation, which means that if you actually do something that is a bit wrong, I might just try and say how it might be wrong. But yeah, that's literally like, yes. The final execution that you supervised was on the 17th of June, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. Hi, Tell Girl! Welcome to the stream! I got a bit late today because I had school to 5 and my fucking computer is very slow. It's very good at doing what it's supposed to do, but it's very slow starting up. My nuts are slowly growing indeed, goddammit. The 17th of June. Also, if you're wondering who this is the lip guy. It's just we took away his disguise. He's trying to remember now if he actually was resigned or not from the prison. And also, welcome, humble viewers, to the stream I'm holding here in our little kingdom in the corner of Twitch. Grab yourself some snacks and something good to drink, and I do hope you enjoy your stay. Was that the professor's execution? Professor. So technically that's why I do his voice, because before his voice was like this, because of his goddamn lip. And now it is like this because I don't use the lip. As you were the chief warden at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been presented throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. He really doesn't remember. What the hell? And yet, that execution never took place. The convict ostensibly executed earlier that day later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back alive. In a cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness.
However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly.
Okay.
Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yes! Yes!
Seeing as you were in charge of the overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warden Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on the 17th June 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to drag them up. Shit them out! Mr. Vigil.
Yes. The whole prison, it was completely chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane.
God, I just read that, Gani. Order! Or amazing nuts! Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles, about a man who had seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Lowgate Cemetery. A plot number 139. Blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. Oh, the depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I reviewed the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. But are you suggesting that the prisoner warden abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes. Yes, and I was suspecting of doing it. Of using that mass murder's execution as a way to help him escape. What did you say? I remember now. The horror of all of it is coming back to me. One evening, a few days of the execution, some detectives came to the prison. Why do I feel like it's just like going faster and faster? Oof. Well, it's good that you're fine now, Turtle Girl. It's good that you're fine now. I've done a lot of programming today, like goodness sake. Let's call the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I don't remember this guy's voice. I haven't really done it. I'm so sorry, Daly. This is a serious business. But can I help you? No? I think it was something like that. As chief warden, you were responsible for overseeing the execution of four, eh? Well, it seems the fellows at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in Perth. Yeah, he's doing that faster and faster, god damn it. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, Professor, most hated killer in the country's history. And I let him escape. Finished my life. It's over. Holy shit, he just screamed. Oh. Well, he died.
Fatality.
Absolutely. Also, I can hear that, huh? Order! Miley, fetch a doctor at once. Yeah. we all more or less just damaged our feet or thighs or something. The last time I remember was literally like when I forgot sunscreen.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end.
But yeah, that must have hurt. I walked into the radiator. Jesus.
Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. but the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Nice. But yeah, the last time I more or less damaged my feet was when I got a goddamn sunburn last summer. We are speaking actually. It is Naruto. That's our voice. But yeah, I forgot sunscreen and I got so goddamn sunburned on my feet. I couldn't walk for like a week or something. They were absolutely swollen and shit. Yeah, well, sometimes mostly just a dominant foot or something. Who knows? But yeah. So I'm gonna remember the sunscreen this year because I still actually have marks from that sunburn. I'm not gonna lie, I still have that. I still can't quite believe what just happened.
I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned, and it seems that Vigil was taken to hospital to recover.
Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison's governor's office. I more or less thought that because we literally just saw the window and was like, woo! But ever since then, he completely blocked the memory of the events from his mind. Nobody knew his secrets. Not his family, not even the man himself, but I forced it out in the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? Well, he survived. Oh, hi, Iris.
You were miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you.
Oh, thank you.
And you and Susie have had an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How delightful of you.
Do you happen to know where Mrs. Sholm is? When we came out of the courtroom back in the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared.
Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if we're pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death.
Either that, or he's going to... I guess he might go to the wife and say, I found your husband, give me the money. What if this Iris created VTuber mommy robot Iris and sent her to the future? Wouldn't surprise me. I have no idea, who knows? She technically never created a robot, but she creates a lot of like gun-like stuff.
There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else.
Yeah, she does do mechanical, absolutely. We still have Kazuma's mask back there.
He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open your own too. But you just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important for him.
I'm pretty certain I've actually seen mechanical robots, like a Japanese doll painting something. Because doing it digitally, you literally just have to send a command to like a motor to like move a certain amount and stuff like that. But to do it mechanically, holy shit. Like that's like doing shit mechanically is amazing.
So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand.
Oh, do you have time, Iris?
Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. A brand new story to read, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide the hairless violin in the days before I have a deadline.
Well, they went out like an hour ago outside my room. It was empty, and then I just went out a few minutes ago, and suddenly there were 4 guests outside. Oh well, wouldn't like. There's someone that lives at a place here around here, and they literally were like out. There were some kids out like 2 in the 11 in the evening, 12, 2, 6, just like doing goddamn fireworks apparently. So it wouldn't surprise me. There's sometimes like people just walking around in the middle of the night.
I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellas, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation.
Okay, what should be the plan of thing for tomorrow's trial?
So, how did it go in court this morning?
Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing is increasingly clear. Lord Van Siegs definitely didn't do it. It was someone who got a firecracker from Venus. I just don't know who.
Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really?
And there was another development too. Kazuma. Herlock Sean. I don't know. They said he went somewhere. I said he might have gone to Mrs. Vigil because we literally had an assignment from her to find her husband, which we have done. So I guess he's going to ask for money.
The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed.
I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so merciless, persistent. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. Okay, the Reaper's innocence. If Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, then Lord Van Siegs has to be innocent, you see.
What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out. Just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious.
Oh shit, are we gonna... I'm pretty certain we're not gonna meet... If we're gonna go and check that out, we're not gonna meet... whatever her face was. I forgot her name. But we might just see her daughter. Oh god. It's both interesting and fucking terrifying at the same time.
Do you mean...
Not Gina! I'm not talking about Gina. I know Gina is. I'm talking about the... fucking... body snatcher. I don't know what to call her. I don't know, I try... It's like... Coroner? Coroner? It is like? Yeah, I think it was Coroner. I tried to figure out the name now. I just remember it was like with something with Coror. But I just didn't remember then the rest of it.
It turns out the little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it's all the makings for a wonderful devilish plot.
It actually kinda sounds like that. Krona Coroner. Yeah, sort of. Sort of. Perhaps about the case with a link to the Reaper. I started to get a bad feeling about all this. Also, I'm just checking what item it is. It's behind my chat here.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That sounds like like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late.
Okay. Gregson's movement. Which foot did he use first? The left one or the right one? That's always important. I never imagined I might have to investigate an inspector's movement.
Well, accordingly to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. You mean he was good doing the same as Hurley?
Well, Mrs. Sean was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposedly to be investigating.
I do wish I had been the other way around.
Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil. Yeah, his current movement is blank, but his movement of late, that's a very strange word. I know what it means, but it's just like, it's so strange, because late feels like doing like later on, but like something of late. It's a very, very odd word.
Establishing an alibi. Oh my, yes, you're surely right, Iris.
But why would Gregson need an alibi?
It would appear that the inspector had something to do with that he wishes to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips.
But perhaps it was they were seasoned with something little more potent than salt and vinegar.
I think perhaps we should try to move away from food and analogies.
Well, anyway, if Lord Van Six felt the need to investigate Gregson.
Yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows.
Okay. So, Mr. Vigil's condition.
Vigil, you say? Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. To ask Mrs. Sholmes if he could help her with her missing husband.
Only Mrs. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to hospital? Do you know which one?
Ah, it's the Saint Sidney's.
I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down.
But that's amazing, Bruno. You found the lady's husband already.
Well, of course I have, by accident. Sort of. Quite.
And 10 years ago, when Mr. Vigil was the chief warden at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incineration.
I have no idea what I was supposed to read there.
No!
So when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed.
Something I really don't want to grow. Sometimes I don't really want to grow up.
There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in, to impersonate the inspector.
The person is Gregsy, but why?
Yeah. I literally did that by my head, in my head, instead of reading the word you spelled out, but yes, that's actually fair.
Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Including you, Bruno.
What the fuck? Okay. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me.
That means that he ties a professor and Inspector Gregson, though. So I think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you?
That's kind of interesting, actually, how they see adults. Because I'm pretty certain I'm around the same age as Susato. And we're 16. They're like 18 and stuff. I don't know how old we are. I feel like we're not like... We are either around Gina's age, but we're not like around this. Are we around Kazuma's age? Because that is 24. That is actually an adult, so that's fair. Holy crap, if we are 24 and she's 16, then like she's so much younger. Okay. I have no idea, really. Playing the impersonator impersonating Ryunosuke, I have no idea, I don't believe so. Also, remember Gani, no age thing. I don't like that. That's the thing. People do that because this is like an 18 plus stream for them. I don't have 18 plus for now, but just like to be safe, do not even do anything about your age. Remember that. Like I do tell you to keep you safe. Well, it feels a little strange that Mrs. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but let's go ahead and see what we can find out. Because trust me, I was on, for example, the Magical Bard stream, and literally someone just said their age, and it was like literally BAM. Yeah, kinda. But yeah, for right now it's fine because I don't really have like an 18 plus stream here right now. I don't know if I should or should not, because technically I don't really want too much 18 plus, but we can have stuff that kinda goes that way. So for right now it's fine, but keep that in mind, because trust me, I have seen people just like ban directly. Like there's no second thought, there's no nothing. I do second thoughts because you have been with me for a long time, so I don't want to just ban you because of some, like, stupid thing as, yeah, I'm just telling my age. But yeah, just try to keep that in mind. Let's go to the hospital then. So, no age thing, no nothing about that. Okay, so nothing here, hey? Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushions at base of of the wall outside. What the fuck? Okay.
Oh dear, Professor, we're very vigil.
I can have a feeling there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Finding something you lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be a very dark business sometimes, can't it?
Yes, I'm afraid it can.
Doesn't seem to be anything here. I'm just going around and checking, because yes, it is at the hospital, but there's no one there, so I'm gonna check that later. Doesn't seem to be much different here. Nothing has really changed, I don't think that. That's a good one. But yeah, do remember that. Because literally, you might be joking with me, but trust me, there are channels where you don't have time to joke about your age. You mention something like that, and it's gonna be poof.
Lord Van Seeks is reading. Look. It doesn't seem like he wants to visit us, doesn't he?
But he must have noticed that we're here, surely. I guess he saw us. What do you Nipponese want? Speaking of vampires, there's Van Seeks. Yeah, exactly. There's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying to... The hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Narahuda?
Lord Van Seeks, speaking earnestly. Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in 2 months tomorrow.
I believe I know what that means. It's more or less like when pigs can fly, in a sort of sense. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. Not by you, your fellow Nipponese. Your prosecutor. Oh, I see. Yes. is sardonic, don't you think? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose. It's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. 69 years, goddammit. Whoops, I'm not gonna move. So, the Reaper's identity. You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the Reaper, because it helped reduce the amount of serious crime that took place in London. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause. A cause I myself am committed to pursuing. Then why should I choose to say anything? But the henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. And that was just the most recent of many attempts of your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you. Believe me. Ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose, or rather, expose the organization.
It's a whole organization.
It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, but the Reaper always appeared to have a very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved.
Someone that you can't mean.
It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Tobias Gregson. Gregson, the Reaper? The fuck? Okay. Plot twist. Oh, wait, hold on, I have something for that. There we go. Perfect. So, the reason you were investigating Gregson is because you intended to expose him as a Reaper. As I said, the Reaper of the Bailies is no single person. It's a highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there is no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization.
I don't believe it. Are you saying that Gregsy, that he was behind all those awful criminals meeting their...
Gregson. Yeah, in a sense perhaps, who knows? Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself.
Oh.
He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks and plot their assassination. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi.
Which is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector.
Vigil knows nothing, the Reaper. No problem, Turgle. Have a good evening. Hope you have a lovely day as well, and I'll see you on Thursday. But the room he rented on Francis Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met an assassin there for brief. So we don't actually know who carried out the killings then. Actually, I do have a name. You what?
Well, if you can't name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then.
Or if I can name the woman. It's gonna be Venus. Oh god, Venus is gonna be a bad person. She's a young woman. by the name of Assassin. Assassin. Fuck, I just got that. Fucking brilliant. I was like, Assassin, and I was like, that kind of sounds like a Japanese name in a way, so it might be like something that ties into all this, and then just like, Assassin. Okay, fair point. Assassin, the true name of a terrifying killer. I only wait. Her name was Assassin. I forgot that. I didn't even check about that. I don't even really recall that people had puns as names, so I never actually thought that she had that as a name. Wait, so you were hired or something to kill the doctor? What the? Well, oh, she's dead. Sorry. There's nothing we do about that. She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Then, just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan and conviction, the mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. And that woman was actually the Reaper of the Baileys. What the fuck?
Miss Naruto, this is perhaps isn't the place to discuss.
No, of course not. We can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson, because Iris doesn't know, and it's very likely that the man was her father.
Assassin. I should let father know at once.
Yes, I agree. So, Prosecutor Asogi. Kazuma Asogi. You know, you say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. It's the whole reason I got to Britain. I got to come to Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes. I understand only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. And I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father. It's true that aristocracy at the time was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics, in economics, in war. In many ways, Asogi was carving out a canker from the society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. I see. But that's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Sees was a noble and upstanding man. Hold on, I'm gonna check here just because I know that sometimes you actually do it in here. Yeah, there we go. Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's actually something real, but oh my god. I mean, like, I really kind of want to, like, question someone now. Like, would this be accurate or not? Clint was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did that damn Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? Also, apparently we learned two things. Gregson was the mastermind, as you said about the new Moriarty, of the whole Reaper. But the assassin was actually the woman with the swan hat, which is dead now. In spite of having once saved mine. He saved your life. Good god. It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital. Genshin and I were walking down some back street at a late hour. Of course, at that point I had no idea the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden, we were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured with scars. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the cipher, and they had no sympathy of his younger brother either. He'd been targeted several times before already. I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me, but they just when I thought my time had come. It was Azogi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. The next thing I knew, there was a silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. 2 days earlier, they arrested me on suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. Kinda are that sometimes.
How awful for you.
All at once, I lost a brother I revered, and the foraging friend I held in such regard. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Six. That is the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recount it to anyone. Well, thank you. I made the meme 0.69 better, goddammit. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. I kind of just want to talk with someone from Britain and just like ask, how is the weather there? Because like we hear a lot of like the London fog and stuff, and it literally like made memes now. Jesus.
The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just who intimately related they are.
I still can believe it. That Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination order to Jessely Brett. No, wait, her name was Jessely Brett. Who the hell was Asin? Because that was the assassin. Wait, who the fuck was? I don't know.
Miss Naruto, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray!
Yes, alright. Take care then. You were just gonna stare at us. New location. Wait, haven't I been there before? It's not really new. I was capable of going there before. I think. Sorry, I just checked some memes apparently. I don't know what happened. It was apparently just some Call of Duty tournament. I have no idea what that was all about. Or how that even was a meme.
It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'd think the same tomorrow too. My tea has a finer fragrance than whatever they are serving in the tea room here, though. What did you say?
I didn't want to do a voice because I didn't know. I thought, but apparently not. Apparently it was.
Ah, father. Oh, this is your daddy, Susie. How lovely.
What a charming young lady. And you are? Oh, really? So you're the author of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, are you?
That's me, Iris Wilson, at your service, sir.
Oh, I just realized she said her last name. I know that Miko Tobak actually knows about Wilson. Good God, Gani. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, fair point. Fair point. IKEA is kind of big. Okay, the last one is me. Fucking hell. I love those two. Yes, I do love those two. I absolutely do. Well, Miss Wilson, I must say I read your work regularly, and with much interest.
Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, father.
Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes for a way to explaining that bright look in your eyes. Yeah, you have done enough already now. Now then, Miss Young Arahudo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee of the symposium, I was allowed to observe from the gallery, after I twisted some arms. I must say, I was truly exemplary for performance. Oh, well, thank you very much. Although I'm fairly sure you omitted by Kazuma on the end there. Oh, no. Please don't misunderstand me. It was you who impressed me. Really? You didn't seem miss a step again, Sasuke. And we all know how capable he is. So what he says is like, he knows Asagi is good. He knows he's doing a very good job. But he is very impressed by me because I'm capable of keeping up. Really, to have matured into such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year is quite extraordinary. It's very kind of you to say so. Really nice to hear. What I saw in court today confirmed what I've been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruto. I trust you haven't forgotten. Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you?
But first, what first? We have something to report, father.
Yeah, of course. Shall we take a tea while we discuss matter further? I wonder where Judge Yigoku has got to. He's gonna read my mind. Oh, apparently not. I'm supposed to actually ask him. Oh my god, another one! Literally just looked over like, oh, we have another meme.
Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailies?
I have heard the rumors. Some of the members of the judiciary explained it all to me yesterday. Of course, when I was visiting a student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Yeah, it was after those 10 years ago. Lord Van Seeks was in the dock today. That was Baroque, the younger brother of Clint Van Seeks, I believe.
That's right. And you know, throughout London as a Reaper, as you've heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all of those mysterious deaths. It was somebody else.
I see. So what you're saying is there has been a professional killer at work here? Exactly. Someone by the name of Asashin, in fact. Well, I beg your pardon. Did you say Asashin? Did you mean that Jessel's breath woman was responsible for killing my greatest friend? A great friend?
Oh no, a friend of yours was killed.
Professor Mikotobak, I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now. Because a friend of the professor is talking about is Dr. Jen H. Wilson. That's not something we want Iris to find out about. Not like this, anyway. Oh god, the beans was almost spilled there.
Oh, I've just remembered something. Biscuits. This hotel has some most delicious looking biscuits.
Oh, that was rather out of the blue. Oh, she's doing this deliberately.
I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes! I'll just try to leave me. You just try to leave me behind.
Okay, now we can speak. So that your girl is called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right. She's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great detective Schultz. By the name of the credit author, isn't Iris, isn't it? Miss Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see. Her father. Dr. John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during my time in London. That's why I was so keen to reciprocate with and invite him to the Imperial Humane University 4 years ago. But he was murdered last year by Jessely Brett. Why? Why would the Hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris know nothing about that case, but it seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was a father. Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about this family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. But I think I can say with some certainty that it was never a great detective's path. So, it could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? Well, Dr. John and Wilson are both common names after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. Yeah, that's what we thought, yes.
We're back with a cinnamon biscuit.
Oh, they smell delicious, Iris.
I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here. Don't you think, Susie? Yes. I'm sure you're right, Iris. Also, I'm checking the time.
Okay, so where's the judge? I haven't seen Judge Jigoku for a while, have you? But that guilty is still ringing in my ears. No. Now you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either. I suppose the symposium opening was postponed. We're going to explore the great exhibition.
It reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jigoku's having once been in the dock himself.
Oh yes. It was all tied up with that accused trial. The close trial of Kazuma's father. Sashiro was trying to migrate Genji's guild, so he took the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witnesses down.
Oh my.
He also said something contemptuous word about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear. Although it's worryingly easily to imagine him doing that. Well, it was all right in the end. He was acquitted and we returned home to Japan together.
Thank goodness.
Oh yes, talk about Seishiro. I have a copy of a photograph here we took together yesterday. Please. Oh.
Oh, what a lovely picture.
It certainly seems to shout we're arrived in Britain. I do wonder if there's something we're gonna check though. None of us had any idea that was coming. What was coming? Well, we took that.
No, that's so true.
Okay, so what the favor? So you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me. Well, at this fateful trial, you'd have been your fight. One way or another, it will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. You want me to do what?
What? Father, what's the meaning of this?
No, Susato, you should understand. You see now our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense.
Oh, you mean...
This is a Supreme Court of Judicature is in the desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible, I really quite urgently, in fact. But I have not even been in London a year yet. I've heard all the Society's reports, and well, I'm aware of your extraordinary talents. And having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs.
So, you be leaving then, Runa? But then, what am I supposed to do, Father?
You came here to serve as a Soga's judicial assistant.
Oh yes, you're supposed to be Kazuma's assistant.
Our government is still in the process of deciding how best to deal with this situation, though. You've always chosen your own path, Susato.
Yep. Also, you're back, Anis. I'm gonna check. Oh yeah, we have something. Yeah, kinda. I do love also that you actually have... No, it's not. It's actually not. Sorry, I thought that was the costume I had. It's not the costume. I thought it looked like the costume. Father.
Oh, please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. I hope if I'm honest, I won't be forcing you. All I ask is that you consider it and come to a decision by the time this trial concludes.
Yes, alright. You won't leave, will you, Runa? Oh yeah, he did a big suck. Oh my fucking god. Why that? Why now? Oh my god. Yeah, he did a big suck.
Well, if you excuse me now, I need to telegram government ministers and the Japanese police with information about Asashin.
Of course, Father. Thank you.
I look forward to the next month installment, Miss Wilson.
Oh, good. Please do come back. Come to Baker Street sometimes, won't you? I'd love to entertain you. Oh, secondly, we don't know how our Iris's father looks. We should find a picture of him. Like, seriously.
Best of luck tomorrow, Naruto. And give my suggestions your full consideration, won't you?
A judge when the culprit accidentally outs himself. Oh yeah, he did a bit suck. Absolutely. Now I have a Gura on screen. I just don't know what I am actually about to see. Because it goes kind of automatically right now, so I don't know what it is for something. Apparently food review. Okay. Okie dokie. You know, Kazuma-sama has always meant a great deal to my father. Yeah, Shark Child. I do love that her intro is literally just spammed about her own PNGs and GIFs. There's so goddamn many of them. Oh, yes, no doubt. Oh, hi there, Shams.
How can I be neglected so considerably to the possibility before now?
Mr. Shams! Hurley, where have you been? Yeah, no problem.
Why, I owned you... I joined you all for tea, of course. What extraordinary question.
I didn't notice you at all.
No matter, no matter. Anyway, the more pressing concerns, Miss Naruto. Oh, yes? I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It's a matter of much urgency. In a bit, he's gonna appear on the damn toilet of my bathroom. Yeah, I kinda feel like that sometimes as well. Tell me, to who can I entrust this task? Quickly now, who? Father.
Well, my father has just now left. So send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of the Jam himself.
I see. Well, you look reliable enough for a bearded fellow.
I don't think that what father sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Sholmes.
There is not a moment to lose. Kindly ask your trusty unshade father to see this out.
I will, but what is it?
No question at this time, if you please, Mr. Suto. I kinda know that I have never kicked my wall, but I can understand what pain is. That for once, my deduction is avre. Avre? Doesn't that imply that your deductions are normally correct, Mr. Sholmes? Which is no then. You may be surprised to learn that I am a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind seats and eavesdrop on other people's conversation. So that's what joining us for tea meant. I'll leave the sending of this in your hands, then, my dear fellows. I have no idea. Because that's kind of more or less the same word in a way.
He just sort of ran off, didn't he? Quite a pace.
And he left an unpaid bill of his tea behind too. I kinda want to check what was given first. No, not yet.
I'll run a call us a cab right away.
Oh, Jesus. And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill. Yeah, kinda, in a sense. Oh, we didn't actually get anything. God damn it. Oh well, I pay the bill and I go... Is he here yet? No, wait, do we actually need to go somewhere?
This is the war where the vigil was brought, apparently.
To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again.
Ah, the lawyer. Hello again. Hello. Oh, god damn it. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil?
I have to do this before so I actually can do his voice.
Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. Somewhat better.
I'm sorry to have caused you to, I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forcibly forced you to remember things, you would obviously try to forget.
The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago too. You just missed him. These nuts! He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself.
Please don't think like that.
Keeping from Evie, my wife, for all these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over the time, I obviously became to deceive myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now,
I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as a stand-in. He was clearly concerned of my well-being and doing what he could to help. So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along then. I'm sure it's just a search for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it. I swear it's true.
Oh, Mr. Vigil.
I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but fucking hell. Thank you, Jenny, for the objection. Jesus. I'm kind of glad that came first and the text later on, because that kind of fucking got me. If possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened? I need to get all of this off my chest. I need to get all of this off my chest. I'm trying to, like, keep the voice in a sort of way here. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Yeah, when it happens. When it happens, absolutely. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Details of the Reaper's marks, yes? It was when he had to carry out these investigations that I would take his identity and impersonate him. He pretended to be an inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf. Oh, never! A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to a specific location and make a little hoo-ha. Get something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here.
So that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident.
Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So as usual, I flashed Inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence.
But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed brothers.
Yes, sir. So you would always make a prior of showing Gregson's identification generally being loud. That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes?
Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose.
Not a good one, though. And as you know, I suffered a bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day, they kept their word and released me. Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however. We had arranged to meet in the Francis Street room at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. Holy shit, I'm reading this manga that is updating the manga every once in a while, and they canonically added Among Us in the manga and called it Content Us. Legit, the whole chapter is about Among Us. Oh my god. It was at midnight at the 17th of June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution. But the professional execution never actually took place, did it?
Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare imagine what a chilling plan it was.
Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. I was just wanted to check what sort of like food rate it was. And apparently it's like food image and rate it. Everything that went in or out the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception, or rather one notable loophole, something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. the coffins in which the bodies of executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery, just behind the prison. The chief warden first had to sign the necessary papers, and after that, no member of the staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would have waited adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had confirmation, I went to the mortuary to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was what I would sign the paperwork, having checked the coffin, then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut.
No!
I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So you mean the coffin contained... Yes, I can only imagine that Asogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was taken out through the main gate and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery.
Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long.
Good God. So in the early hours of the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again and set Genshin free.
But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder?
I'm afraid I don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Asogi couldn't possibly have accepted that way without the help from somebody working in the prison. And that somebody was not me. Okay. Checking the time a bit because I'm getting a bit knackered here. Going early mornings and stuff like that. Oh. Also, bro, I stopped for a moment in of your collab, and bro, you almost lost, but a poster got voted out. Yeah. I know it was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed that stream there. I didn't feel for streaming because I was too tired. Like, seriously, on the Saturday morning, 5 o'clock, I actually had a collab where we just like had a party. No stream, just like a little party with people. And I had the wrong time apparently. Because apparently it was from 2 to later on, but I thought it was 5. So I came rather late. But we played some Uno and stuff, which was fun. But I do hope you enjoyed the stream there. But I was too tired to actually stream, so it was nice that I actually visited their stream there. Yes, I remember him very well, in fact. Would you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After that trial... Yeah, who knows? I chat sometimes in some people's stream. I kind of tend to learn to know people that way in a sense. At least not like in a big streams, like big streams, like 2,000 people. I don't believe anyone will more or less remember someone there if you don't do anything big. They called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was sent from the beginning, wasn't it?
It was a time of the delicate diplomacy when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly.
The man had less than a week in total. As was the chief wardener, I saw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe that what he'd done, so I asked him one day. It feels weird because I hate being noticed, except for when there's like 10, 12 people in chat. I get scared when there's like 18 people. Yeah, who knows? People are different. Those 5 members in the aristocracy whose lives were taken. Are you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life. Yes. But that doesn't mean their life. The following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something. Something unusual. Something unusual. What? The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. Huh? His will? As I said, it was on the night and following his trial after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked in Asogi's, I noticed that it seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it in behind his back.
But why did you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh?
And sometimes I would follow, and then a thing shows up, and they would just say welcome. And whenever I would just cringe, like they say my name, that feels weird. I just because I'm streaming, I feel it's like not as weird anymore for like people to just say my streamer name and stuff. Yes, that's true, but there were special conditions to Asagi's incarceration, you see? What sort of conditions? Well, even though he was held in a cell designated for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception. Really? He was allowed his things. That's unusual. Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy. By the time he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan, the powers that were determined his final days we shouldn't be needless and comfortable.
And what was the exception you mentioned? The personal effect he was allowed.
That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing material, especially no pens or paper.
So he was prevented from leaving with an unwritten record of what happened to him.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm glad I can at least make some people enjoy my streams. I know people come in now and then, and I know some people that I have learned to know that comes in and just say hi and stuff. But I'm glad I can get some people to just enjoy my streams. Why did you just hide behind your back? Please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who's seen. You just agree on keeping quiet. All right then. But what's on that paper? A lost will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. Interesting. How can a will be a weapon? It must be against someone, so I guess like when he gets that will out, things will like break and shit like that. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace. What do you mean it vanished?
It would seem that isn't the end of the story of this mysterious will.
There, but I'm actually gonna do that next time because